Well, Luke, a disappointing ending again in a home game with a late winner. Must be gutting for the team and for the management and yourself, obviously, with a performance like that.
Yeah, I think to be fair, it's coming. We didn't play well second half. I think too many were coasting, not working hard enough, not putting pressure on the ball, and we've let, in my opinion, an average side come and take 3 points off us, which is a difference between this level and the level below.
You mentioned before you came on about the levels. It certainly last season we'd have closed that game out and gone through and probably won that game, but here every mistake is punished.
Yeah, there's a clear difference in the level. It's intensity, it's desire, fitness levels. It's a step up, and I felt the league level was quite poor last year, and that's not taken away from the fantastic group of players we had. But there's only one or two decent sides in it. This time round, it looks like there's probably at the moment 22 decent sides. So we are one of them, but we can't switch off like that. We should have had 3 points on Tuesday night. We should have 3 points today. So it's disappointing, really disappointing.
It seems the last 20 minutes it seems to go sort of pear-shaped slightly for Kettering. I mean, Tuesday night against Chester, of course, that late penalty, which was controversial anyway, the sending off with Marcus, of course, which was controversial, and again a lapse in concentration at the back and nipped in and got a winner, almost like the one at Darlington, really, wasn't it, that little nip in?
Yeah, I think again, that sort of the balls coming in the box are of a lot better quality. The movement in the box is a lot better, but we need to get pressure on the ball. I don't know how many crosses went in that last 25 minutes, but there seemed to be a lot of crosses with no pressure, and that can't be right because I can't remember our lads having loads of time to just put crosses in the box. So clearly, certain personnel aren't doing the jobs or doing the extra miles, and that's what you got to do in the last 20 minutes. And whether Gaffer will look at that and whether he needs to get more legs on there. But I felt Tuesday was slightly different because I felt we did manage the game quite well. I felt that was a complete refereeing nightmare the last 20 minutes. But it just so happens that again 20 minutes again, particular last 20 minutes, that people are switching off and not working hard enough.
By the time we come back to Latimer Park, we'll have been to Leamington, not a happy hunting team ground for Kettering, haven't beaten Leamington, and then of course we're going to have Kidderminster Harriers here, which are another strong team, not doing so well this season, but coming thick and fast these games.
Yeah, we always knew end of August you would have played almost a quarter of your games, 8-9 games, so 20% of your season's gone, and you certainly will see where you're at after that bank holiday weekend. The league will start forming, and really in my mind, we have to pick up at least a win every 3 games at this level. So we need a win over them 2 games. There's no question about that. Leamington will be horrible, physical. Kidderminster will try and play football, and that's what you're up against. Last year, I didn't work out a lot of teams, if I'm honest with you. That's not being disrespectful, but we clearly had just a better group of players. This year, every game, we're doing a lot of homework on these teams. We're giving lads plenty of information. We've stepped it up. It's a lot more professional than it was last year. Doing a lot of things off the field. Everything's done right. So there's no real excuses. And that's, as a management team, that's what you want. You want to throw it back on the players and go, you've got everything you want. Now produce it on the pitch. And we need to find a little bit more consistency and find the right performance throughout 90 minutes from this group of players.
How will you lift the team up ready for Saturday at Leamington after that disappointment?
Well, for me, it'll be quite easy. We get on the training pitch. We're doing a lot more training this year. We'll be training Tuesday, Thursday. We're identifying things we need to improve. And I'll be honest with you, the lads have been great with a new gaffer coming in. I think it helps the continuity with myself. We went away, we had a great trip in Benidorm, and we've got a fantastic team spirit and core group, and they're all working hard. They've all stepped up their game, and I think there has been some glimpses of some decent performances. It has been encouraging at times. It's just the consistency in it all. So it
does take time to acclimatise to a new division, although Kings Lynn seem to have just swept on from where they took off earlier on, but it does take time to acclimatise.
Yeah, I think with Kings Lynn, they've same as us, have kept a core group of players, but in all honesty, I think they were the best team in the league from October onwards last year. Again, not being disrespectful to ourselves, but I think if we look at their run of form, they were the form team. And they've kept it pretty the same. So have we, but I think they've got a little bit more quality on the board than we have at the moment. I think the last 2 games you've seen, we have got a lot more quality than we showed against Kingston and Darlington. Our performance has been markedly improved in the last 2 home games. We've got to take that away to Leamington and start realising that we've got some good players, and you do get a little bit more time at this level. There is a little bit more respect, and there is a little bit more thought of pressing and low block, mid block, all that kind of tactical guru stuff. So we've got a good group of players. It's just knowing at the right times, a bit of decision making. But you can't get away from working hard for 90 minutes. You know?
We've also come up against some decent goalkeepers. I mean, he pulled off 3 very good saves, did Brad James today, and also at Darlington when we went 1-0 down. I think we could have got an equaliser, but another great save from the Darlington keeper. At key moments, they seem to have gone against Kettering, rubber the green, the usual cliches.
Normally happens to not getting results. But we've got a good keeper ourselves, and obviously we needed him a couple of games to keep the scoreline down. But it's great that the last 2 games Paul's not really been called on much, so we've tied up defensively. However, we've still haven't kept a clean sheet yet. Whoever's been on the field, and it's 1 to 11, 1 to 15, 16. So again, yes, there's better quality players on field, and I think everyone is enjoying the step up and everyone relishing it. But 4 points from 5 games should, in my opinion, probably be 7 or 8. But we've got to turn that, flip that around now. Like I say, you go Saturday, Monday, all them groups of the group of players we've got, everyone's going to be needed around that bank holiday weekend, and we'll see where we're at after that. But I'm confident we've got the players to keep on picking results up as long as we keep learning from it.
Okay, Luke, thank you very much for that. Let's hope that we can get some points at Leamington or against Kidderminster, which will be great if we can in front of our own fans. Things seem to be going wrong in the last 20 minutes or so, and especially in the last few minutes of the game. Chester, a last-minute penalty, and then today.
Yeah, I mean, we did deserve something out of the game, but the second half sort of performance wasn't as good as the first half. I think if you said to me at half time, if anything, you've got to up your game again, because Gateshead, knew they'd come out, being 1-0 down, and then you probably throw a bit more caution to the wind, and we had to deal with it. But we dealt with it for most of it. But I just felt that we weren't getting as much pressure on the ball. There was a bit more space for them to play, and I think there's a tendency, that players want to sit. If they sit off and keep the ball in front of them, that it's easier to defend. But then I think you just invite pressure. It lets them literally get the ball close to your goal and get balls into your box, which is what's cost us in the end.
I said to Luke, how do we pick up from that? We've had 2 disappointing results with games really where we shouldn't have lost or drawn. A tough game against Leamington, and then an even tougher one probably against Kidderminster.
Yeah, I mean, obviously very close together. Leamington will give us different problems to what Kidderminster will, different problems to what we've had today. But we've got to go away from home and battle for everything now.
Nimley came on, he added a bit of spice to the game. Would he form a good partnership, I think, with NT and O'Connor when they get flying?
We like to think so. They've got, Alex is quite good holding the ball up and bringing other people into play, and hopefully get Danny and Onazza running off him.
It's going to be a long, tough season to go by. It isn't going to be easy. We've already said that and seen that with the teams that we've played. But it must be frustrating to a certain extent, for yourself.
Well, it is when you play. I think there's only really trying to think. It was the Kings Lynn game. We weren't really at it. In the first half. And who did we play after that?
Darlington.
That was a real disappointing one. That you felt like you were never in the game. You couldn't see how we were going to get back in the game once we were a goal down. But all the other games, we've been well in them. I would have said, we're the better team first half today.
Well, the impetus was with us. I mean, the goalkeeper pulled off 3 very good saves in that first half, didn't he? And if they'd have gone in, of course, that would have changed the tide.
Yeah, and again, going back to the Chester game, he missed the penalty, scored 2-0 up, but you can't blame missed chances. If we're 1-0 up, you hopefully you see the game out and you win 1-0.
So we got, as I say, Leamington on next Saturday and Bank Holiday Monday at Kidderminster. Got to lift the lads up now and carry on, obviously.
Yeah, what we can't afford to do is feel sorry for ourselves, and obviously it's very different from last season when you're winning week in, week out. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew we weren't really, we're not really going to be challenging at the top, with the clubs that are in there. But I think it's just important. We know where we are. And we keep battling away every game.
Have you got a target set that you in your own mind where we should be, or
no? I don't. I never. When I came in, I said I never set targets, because what happens when things don't go to plan? You just change your targets constantly anyway. So if you just said finish mid-table and you have a real good start, you're like, well, will change it. We should be in the playoffs, but you never know what happens. So I don't set tags. I don't really go beyond the next game.
Hopefully the fans will come out in force against Kidderminster. It's an old standing fixture, and you've played probably against them a few times for Kettering as well, I suppose, haven't you? When we were in the Northern Division last time, so it's going to be another good afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be a tough afternoon, you know. Be tough on Saturday as well. You know, Leamington, I know Paul well, and I know how he sets his team up. They're always difficult to play against, hard to beat, and they will battle for everything. That's why they've stayed up in the division for the last couple of years.
Okay, Nicky, commiserations for today. Thank you for coming in.